Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about self-publishing, which is something that I haven't really gone into on my channel before, so I'm very excited to finally be making a video about it. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe to see future videos from me. I make bookish content and soon I will be doing a lot more videos about my writing. So this is going to be a video about the pros and cons of self-publishing. So this is from my own experience. It's not going to be too in-depth. I'm just going to go into the main pros and cons that I have come across in my self-publishing journey, and yeah. The first pro is that you have a lot of control over your book. I am re-releasing my debut novel, The Forest of Fallen Stars. It's coming out again in May, and it was originally published 2 years ago on the 1st of June 2019, so it's been a while. And yeah, I have a new cover, a new design, there's a lot of changes that I've put into place with the book, and it's super exciting. It's something that I'm really passionate about, very excited about, that it's finally happening. But yeah, so you have a lot of control when you're self-publishing. There's a lot of aspects of writing a book, publishing a book, that when you are traditionally published you don't have the same level of control over as when you are self-published. Obviously I have a lot of control over my covers, so my cover has changed. This was the original cover for Forest and this is the new cover. There's a lot of reasons that I've changed that. I can do a whole new video on why I changed my cover. If you would like to see that, let me know in the comments. But yeah, the cover design has changed. I'm going to be changing a lot of things. There's going to be a hardback version which is available this time around, which wasn't the original edition. It did not have a hardback cover available. The ebook will still be available, but that will have changed as well. So there's a lot of things that I have the control to change and to impact because it's my book and I'm publishing it myself. So one of the cons to self-publishing is that you don't get support with marketing. When you are traditionally published, obviously it's still your job to promote your book and to market it yourself, but a lot of the marketing, the majority of your marketing is down to the publisher. So when you're self-publishing, you don't get any support. All the marketing and promotion that goes into your book and getting it into readers' hands is done by the author. So when you are a self-published author, you have a lot of work to do. You have to write the book, you have to edit the book, you have to pay to get the book edited, you have to pay to get the book proofread and, you know, edited. All of that stuff comes from your own pocket. So when you're a self-published author, everything comes out of your own pocket. You have to market it yourself, you have to edit it yourself, you have to do everything on your own. You do not get any support financially or generally into publishing your book, so it's expensive and it's time consuming and it's a lot of pressure. The only person getting your book into readers' hands is you, which is very daunting and it can be really difficult. I'm not somebody that's overly confident in sales. I've worked in sales before, I currently work in sales and I guess part of my job is marketing, so I'm definitely learning a bit more about it now and getting more confident, but it's definitely not something that I feel comfortable doing. So for me personally, this is the hardest part of being self-published, is actually marketing and promoting my book online. I don't have the biggest platform and I'm not very confident at promoting stuff, so that's definitely something to take into account and to think about before self-publishing, is that you have to push the sales, you have to promote and market your book all by yourself, and if that's something you're going to struggle with, you might want to do some research into ways that you can do it and paid options, because if you're not overly confident and you're not very comfortable in this, then paid options can be a better option for you. The next pro is that you get more control over the actual story. So when you are traditionally published, there are certain aspects of your book that your editor, that your team may decide to change or cut out or just edit generally. When you're self-published, you can decide everything that goes into your book, and this is kind of a pro and a con, because obviously when things are cut out of books or changed in books by a traditional publishing team, there's a reason for it. They don't just cut things out willy-nilly because they feel like it. There's a reason that these things are changed or cut out from the story, so this is a pro and a con. You can decide what stays and what goes within your story, but at the same time you don't have those industry professionals giving you guidance and advice on what may be more or less suitable for your story. So the next con is price. It costs a lot to self-publish your book. Proofreading, editing, everything like that, that is a whole section of your publishing that is going to cost you a lot of money. Hiring freelancers can be expensive, and that's something that you need to factor into your costs. If you are wanting to self-publish a book, you need to think about who's going to proofread, who's going to edit your book or help you edit your book, and that is just one aspect of it that is expensive. There's also the cover design. If you're going to pay a freelancer to design your cover, depending on which freelancer you go through, it's going to be expensive. All freelancers have their own prices, but depending on what quality you want, arguably the better quality ones are going to be more expensive. So that is another thing that you need to take into account and think about within your costing for publishing your book. There's different places online that you can self-publish your book. I am personally going through 2 different companies to do the print-on-demand services for my book, and I'm also using KDP, which is the Kindle Direct Publishing, for my ebook. This is just the cheapest option for me, or I say the cheapest, it's the best option for me price-wise and quality-wise. So when you are thinking about which companies you want to go through, you want to think about the cost. For example, I was going to get my hardback from lulu.com, and I ordered a proof, which is coming in the post next week hopefully, but when I actually looked into it further, it was going to cost readers over £25 to buy the hardback, which is not something I'm going to go through with, because I'm never going to expect a reader to pay £25 for my hardback. It's definitely worth looking into the pricing in all manner of things, from the price that you pay to have it printed and sent to you, the price that a reader pays to get it directly from the website, and also the price that a reader would get it when it's distributed to different channels. So my book will be available in bookshops, from Barnes & Noble, from Waterstones, from all places like that, but the price that I pay for it will obviously differ from the price that a reader would pay from it from those outlets, but also through the print-on-demand company's website themselves. I hope that makes sense, but costing is something that you definitely have to think about, because it's quite complicated, and all the different platforms will cost different amounts, they will work in different ways, so it's something that you have to really sit down and research. I would not recommend just picking one that looks good and going with it. Definitely get proof copies from different companies, look into the costings and how much it's going to cost you as the author to buy the book, as well as how much it's going to cost the reader to buy your book once it's published. So those are the main, like, the top pros and cons that I had to talk about today. This video is already getting quite long. I'm going to edit it down, so hopefully it'll be about 10 minutes long, but at the minute it's getting very lengthy. So I'm going to stay with that for now. I can definitely do a follow-up with more pros and cons to self-publishing if you guys enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful.